this.
Hi, I'm Kim Innocente, and I'm a licensed real estate agent in Northern Los Angeles County,
And I'm Amy Bullock, and I'm a licensed real estate agent out of Central Oregon. And this is our podcast, Laughing Our Way Through Escrow.
where we talk life, real estate, and whatever else we're into. Hi, Amy.
Hi, Kim. Long time no talk.
Yeah, I know. How's it going?
It's going awesome. I had a really great but busy weekend. How about you?
Good, good. I just got home. I did like a co-working day with one of my friends who's a nutrition coach and personal trainer. So we just sat in Starbucks for 5 hours and
We should
worked.
do a plug for her on this.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So you can find her on Instagram. I went to high school with her. I've known her forever. Her name is Coach. I'll put it in the show notes. It's Coach Jenna Palomino, I think, but I'll put it in the show notes. She's great and I love her. So yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was fun. What'd you do over the weekend?
I don't know, got somebody in contract on a house I was super stoked about.
Yay!
It's kind of a crazy well, this whole transaction I feel like is going to be wild because we're trying to close in under 20 days and it's a financed offer.
Mhm.
And if we don't close by a certain day, then we have to push it back almost a full month because
Oh,
my clients leave the country. And so they don't want to close while they're outside of the country. But
yeah.
we have less than 20 days to get the inspection done, to get the appraisal done and back, to get the lender completed, which is going through underwriting and all of that stuff. And if we can't get it done, then we have to wait 3.5 weeks to do it again. Not do it again, but redo it.
Yeah.
But that was a whole I had a friend sitting with go walking like we were grocery shopping actually, and I just took my work bag just in case because I was on a timeline and I had to have a response to a counter by 5 p.m. and we left at like noon. And I sat there and I was like, we'll probably be back by then. But then I found out my client had an orchestra show at 3, and so the story is we had counters out. We had 3 counters out back and forth with the seller. And the only thing we couldn't agree on was the closing date because of my clients leaving the country. And I find out that my clients are going to be unavailable after 3 at like 2 o'clock that afternoon. And I am mid grocery shopping with my friend. I just happened to take um my computer bag with me,
Yeah.
and at like 2:30 I'm on the phone with my clients because the seller finally agreed to the closing that we wanted. And I'm frantically sitting in the seat of my friend's car, typing up this addendum to address the closing and all that stuff to try and get
Yeah.
signed and out before 3 o'clock. And literally at 2:57, I'm on the phone with my client and I'm like, it's out, it's in your inbox. Go find it, go find it. And he signs it, and then she has to wait to intermission to go sign it, which is like closer to 4 o'clock.
Hmm.
And this whole time my friend's sitting driving next to me and she's like, I don't think I could do what you do. That's very stressful. I'm like, well, this is why I have all my gray hairs.
Yeah.
Didn't start getting gray hairs until this job.
You have to be ready to work on the fly sometimes.
You really
It's
do.
just
You
the
really
way it
do.
goes. Yeah.
What about you?
Well, that's
How's it
cool.
going over there? I heard you
So
wrote some offers.
yeah, so I wrote 2 offers yesterday, fingers crossed, and signed a listing agreement. I have a past client who bought their home during the very beginning of COVID when um like 1 month in, I think they closed in April. Um, so the interest rates had not dropped yet. Like we all were like, is the economy gonna collapse? Like what's gonna happen? So they've gained a pretty good amount of equity because it was before prices shot up and everything.
Ooh,
And so they're in a condo right now, so they want to relocate to a single family home. So fingers crossed for them, that we get an offer accepted. But yeah, it's funny because, when they had their home inspection on their condo back in 2020, it was very much like, if you feel sick in any way, like you should probably stay home, was kind of like what everyone was doing or whatever. And my client was pregnant. And so I felt sick and I was like, I can't go. I can't. What if I have COVID? I can't go. And so I didn't go to the home inspection. They did. And then the home inspector met them
sorry,
there.
my phone went off.
Oh, it's okay. And then turns out I was pregnant. I didn't have COVID, but I just felt sick. And I was like, I can't go. And the agent, because I was like, I told him, I'm not going to be there. I think I have COVID. I didn't have a cough. I just felt like I was like, I don't know, it's off and like it's
Felt like
nauseous and
crap.
stuff. Yeah. And he was like, I think you're fine. And I was like, no, but I was pregnant. So yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Drag it out of you. My friend of mine just had her baby, and she was like, how do you go back to work after this?
I don't know.
Age old question. It's really hard. Really hard.
Yeah, I know. I still ask these things. I'm like, even like my day-to-day life, I'm like, how do people keep their houses clean? I feel like mine is in a constant state of just messes.
There's
Evelyn's
like a
four, but
period of time, and I would think Art Allen would probably agree with this, where both of us had just you look at the floor in your living room and you're just like, what's the point? What?
yeah, Evelyn's a
I
tornado.
just cleaned this. Yeah. They have no care in the world either. It's just
Yeah,
like they like, oh,
yeah,
oopsies.
it's true. It's just like everything she touches is just
Like they're like little Tasmanian devils.
yeah. And she just, I mean, everything. She's just moving. Like, there's a section in my house right now where she's taken all of the picture frames that we have on tables, are all pictures of her. And she's basically created a shrine and she won't let me put them back. And then when I do, she just grabs them and puts them back over there. So I just have left them there and it doesn't make any sense. It's just like 7 picture frames on this end table that and she sits by it and watches TV.
That's what she
So
likes.
weird.
Girls knows it.
Yeah.
She knows
But
what
it
she
is.
likes.
Yeah, it is hard.
That's so funny. You know what? I have some clients. I tend to work with a lot of relocation clients, and one of them is relocating from Northern California right now. And they have bought and sold numerous properties over the course of their lives. And he keeps comparing the differences between buying in Oregon versus buying in California. And I
Mhm.
sat there and was like, that is actually probably a really good topic of conversation that I should have with Kim.
Yeah. What are their comments?
Well, so first of all, like what is your when you are representing the buyer, what is your inspection period time frame?
So our contract now, the default time, unless we change it, is 17 days for everything, for your physical due diligence inspections, even your appraisal and loan contingencies, all 17 days. And then a lot of times if it's competitive, we'll like shorten it, if we can and the client's comfortable. But yeah, what is yours?
So you're 17 calendar days or 17 business days? You might have said
Calendar
that.
days.
Calendar days?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. Ours is 10 business days.
Hmm.
So once your client goes under contract, like the next, like if let's say I had a client that went on the contract today on Monday, today's Tuesday. So if they went under contract today on Tuesday, their first business day would be tomorrow. And that's day one of a 10-day business day inspection window where they do all of their inspections for the property. Um, 17 days. I guess ours would be 12
I think I want to
if
say,
weekends were included.
if it was last year? because they changed it like a year ago, 2 years ago, and it was 21 for everything but the inspection period, which was no, that was always 17.
That was always 17.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
wild.
I have a
I
question.
wonder
I
what.
noticed, so there's an agent that I know in Colorado, and when they close, both parties actually come to the official like closing table. Do you guys,
Oh,
you don't do that, right?
no, our parties are separated.
Yeah, like we
Like,
just record and I tell them.
yeah. So they'll
Okay.
like if I'm representing the buyer, like each party schedules their own time prior to the day that we close. Every so often, I'll get somebody that actually like goes in to sign prior to the day of closing or on the day of closing. But I have kind of seen a decrease in that where everybody is starting to sign like the day before the actual closing date, or like the sellers will sign a couple of days prior to the closing date. And then on the closing date, escrow will do their thing and all of the,
Mhm.
if it's finance, well, everything will have to be wired or they run the numbers and all that stuff and then they just make all their magic happen on the actual day.
So typically, like for us, because I've talked to people in other states, it is different everywhere. Is you're signing, like funding and closing. They're all for us. Those are three separate days
Oh, see, it used to be here you would sign and
usually.
fund on the same day if you were a buyer. Like when I first started in 2019, my buyers were signing their documents, their closing documents, and funding
Mhm.
their loan same day,
Hmm.
which I I I think the nice thing about COVID, it kind of made escrow companies kind of open up their eyes to new options. Like now we can do remote deposit, electronic deposits, whereas before COVID here, you still had to have a physical earnest money check.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. So you
that's
still had to, it wasn't until COVID hit that the escrow companies started implementing um, cash, well, what do you call it? Digital forms of payment for earnest
yeah.
money.
So you couldn't wire it in.
Not before COVID.
Wow.
And
We
then
always
COVID
have.
hit. Yeah, COVID hit and it was they started offering the wire transfers or an electronic
Hmm.
deposit and stuff like
Interesting.
that. Yeah, it
Huh.
was there. I had one client recently that tried to give me an actual earnest money check to drop off. And I was like,
Mhm.
no, no, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want to touch anything like that.
No.
Not at all.
No. Wire it in
Um,
or drop it off. Yeah.
yeah. What are
Yeah.
your disclosures like for when you have a seller? You like we have property disclosures that have to get filled
Mm-hmm.
out. And
Mm-hmm.
then like one comment was made because they were talking about how the last time they did a contract in California, the seller disclosures were like question and then like a fill in the blank in the bottom if you have to explain something, and then a question, fill in the blank. And then ours are just like 5 pages of straight yes, no, maybe unknown questions. And then we have one addendum that you can attach for any explanations for yes.
No, ours are like there's a lot of yes, nos, but anytime there's like a yes, there's a portion either directly below that question, or if it's like a lot of related questions, there's a portion below it and it's like explain. And then if your text is too long, then it will go on an addendum. Um, but
Okay.
yeah, anytime you mark yes, it's like explain. Um, so do you guys use Glide? Do you have that? So we have like a program
Mm-mm.
that allows the seller to fill out all their disclosures electronically. And then they
Oh,
just like I review it, they can flag it if they're not sure like what this, we can't tell them what to say, but like I can explain the
right.
question more or whatever. And
I'm
then
writing
I
this
just
down. I'm gonna go research
yeah,
this
I wonder if we
after.
have it. And then it just generates a PDF and then we just docu-sign it to them, which is
Oh,
my
that's
favorite
awesome.
because it's just easier because sometimes it's hard to go through it all and then when you do they want you to answer and we can't answer for you because it's not our house and we've never lived there, but yeah, I
Yeah.
like Glide a lot.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. I'm gonna have to look into that because right now I'm still hand delivering physical copies of seller
Hmm.
disclosures,
Hmm.
which can be a pain, but it is what it is. Hopefully one day
Yeah.
they can.
And it's a lot of paperwork. And then if they, like, I've had
Hey,
clients like misplace a paper and then, or whatever the case is. And so I like the electronic portion.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
What about, so topic change, but
Mhm.
we were talking about music
Oh yeah, we
yesterday,
were. Yep.
and I posted brand new, the band that I used to listen to in high school, and you did too. So my question is like a throwback kind of episode. What did you like? What were you like in high school? What did you listen
Oh
to?
man.
Who are you?
I so I well was I mean I was like a combo of like I played sports. I played like my freshman year, I played basketball, soccer, and softball.
Uh-huh.
And then I had to release basketball because I just wanted to play soccer. And
Uh-huh.
so I played sports, but I was also like my dad was a cop and I grew up in a small town. So anything that I did outside of my house, he knew about it. So I
Yeah.
was like a combo of that sporty person plus the antisocial leave
Yeah.
me alone because I couldn't get away with anything. My God, the number of times that I would get pulled over, not saying I got pulled over a lot, but
Uh-huh.
anytime I did get pulled over or seen in public with a cop or I don't know, like it was always like, oh, are you Sergeant so and so's daughter? And I was like,
Ah, they knew you.
yes, yes, I am. There was one time I got pulled over at midnight and my dad didn't know it was out. Like, oh, I
I'll tell my dad.
this is kind of a funny story. Um maybe inappropriate, but you know what? It's our podcast. I'm just gonna
We're
say it.
laughing. We're
We
funny.
are laughing. So I was probably in my junior year of high school, and I started working at this music store called Hastings, which
Hmm.
is like a small chain in small town Texas. I don't even think they're around anymore. But it was a books, music, and video store, and that's the only place you could go to rent your videos or buy CDs and stuff. And so I worked there one because I just wanted like the discount on all the CDs, and
Yeah.
then two because I could work until midnight and not get in trouble for staying out late. And so there was one day where I got off early, but I went to a friend's house and they were hotboxing in her room. And
Okay.
I did so if you're listening to this or if you're watching this, hotboxing means they're smoking a lot of weed in a room and they're not letting it aerate. And it's just a big cloud of smoking.
I thought you were gonna be like, hey, Dad, if you're listening.
He's probably gonna he's probably if he ever decides to listen to my podcast, he would hear this and then he'd roll his eyes. But anyways, so I had never like smoked before, or it was my first time being exposed to that.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I went home after a while, and then I always had to peek my head into their room and say, I'm home when I
Hmm.
would get home. So I peeked my head in and I told them I was home. And then I went to my room and I changed and I threw my clothes in the washing machine really fast because I was like, there's no way that he'd
Paranoia
stick to me.
has
Yeah.
kicked in. Okay.
And so the next day, my dad comes up to me in my room and he's like, "Hey, why'd you throw your clothes in the washing machine last night, Amie?"
Oh my
And
gosh.
I looked at him like, "Oh shit, I am busted.
He's like, you
I
never
am
do laundry.
right." And I
Suspicious.
like initial reaction, I looked at him and I was like, I started my period.
Yeah.
And he goes,
Leave me
"Oh,
alone.
oh, okay, sorry." And he just like scrambled off. I was like, oh, thank God. Hallelujah. Just saved
Oh,
myself. But
that's
I was surrounded by
funny.
that. So in high school, I just listened to music, played soccer, and hung out at my house. I didn't really do anything
Yeah.
cool.
I didn't either.
What about you?
I was never in sports. I was not a good student. Um, I was very antisocial. I had black hair that was typically like to my chin ish. Or we would dye it red. I don't know if you're when your friends would like dye your hair randomly, but we would go to Sally's Beauty Supply and like bleach my hair, cut my bangs. I very much hung out with like the punk, like emo kids.
Hmm.
So I listened to a lot of that music. We went to a lot of like local shows. My
Did
first
you?
ever one was the Casualties,
Oh,
which was very fun.
did
And
you
we
ever
played
go
a
to a
lot of
Warped
video games.
Tour
One time, yeah.
one
Yeah, but I
time?
was much older because my mom wouldn't like, I don't know if she wouldn't let me, but I don't know why. I just never made it there. So I didn't go until I was like 18, maybe. I wish I had gone to the years far
Wait,
back.
how? I don't even know the age difference between you and I. How old are you?
I'm 36.
Oh, okay. We're not that far apart.
How old are
I'm
you?
39. Well, I'll be
Oh, okay.
39 next week.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
So
So yeah,
that's
I'll be
cool.
37 in April. Okay.
Okay.
So, but
All right.
yeah, and then my friends and I mostly hung out with guys because I just was never girly or whatever. And we would play a lot of video games and we play Super Smash Brothers a lot. And I wore boy dickies, and is that was me.
This is why we get along so well because I 100% tried to wear my brother's cargo shorts
Uh-huh.
when I was growing up because they were like it was like cool to wear like a tight shirt and big shorts. So I
Yeah.
remember he gave me an old pair of his shorts and I was like walking around and my
Yeah.
mom was like, "What are you wearing?" And I was like, it
I'm
feels
cool
I like
girl.
it. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Trying to
Yeah,
be
give me a
trendy, mom."
skateboard. I never learned how to skateboard, but I always wanted to be like skater chick, but I was always too afraid to hurt myself. So I just
I
didn't.
had a longboard and I did longboard a little bit, but it was nothing too fancy at
Hmm.
all, at all.
That's
But
funny.
mm,
That's funny.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
No,
was
those
that
are,
was high school.
yeah. Do you still listen to a lot of that music or do you listen to like other stuff now?
Well, I when it's me in my car alone,
Yeah.
I'll throw on some of that stuff, some of the older punk music.
Mhm.
But when my kids are in, we listen to like alternative. We're just like all I don't know, do you have Sirius XM?
No,
Okay,
I
so they have
just
this
Spotify.
channel called Alt Nation, which is just like today's alternative hits. So it's a lot of
Mhm.
like Bastille and um Imagine Dragons. My daughter's obsessed with Imagine Dragons and just stuff like that. So it's like this softer
Hmm.
rock, not really punk anymore. But
I
I did
get
try to find the old Warped Tour albums of the years that I went on Spotify the other day. It was not
Did you
successful.
ever have the Punk-O-Rama CDs, the compilations?
No.
Oh, those are great. They're on Spotify and stuff. You can look them up, but it's all like random. I think they had like 11 or 12 of them and it was like I had the first one and it was like no FX and I think there's like Bad Religion on there and stuff, but I
Oh, I
found it
love
at
Bad
like
Religion.
oh gosh, what was that? The Warehouse. Do you remember the Warehouse? Did you guys have that? The
Oh,
used
there was
CD
a
store?
warehouse in San Antonio. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and so I got it there because we had one in
Sam
Lancaster.
Goodies. Was there a Sam Goody? Is it
We
Sam
had
Goodies?
one in the mall. Yeah.
Yeah, we had one
I
in the
miss
mall too.
CD stores.
I know.
It was so fun.
They're all gone now.
Like you would go and you'd be so excited because you're like, I heard this is good, or I heard one song or something. And then you'd like go and you open it at home and you look at all the album art and like you play it. And now like
Heck, yes.
that hype is like so gone. Like we don't have that anymore. I miss it so much. So
We
much.
got my husband got me a record player for Christmas
Hmm.
2 years ago. And so now they'll do that with albums. They'll buy me albums. Like I have Church's album. I don't know if you like Church's, but I love Church's.
I don't know who that is.
Um you don't know who Church's is?
No, I'm gonna look it up though
I'll
after.
send you some of their songs. You might recognize them. And then Chapel Roan, because I love Chapel
Uh-huh.
Roan. So I have her album. You don't know who that is either?
No.
My God. Okay. Taylor Swift. I got
Is
Taylor
that the
Swift.
girl that sings like, "Cause I'm too messy and then I'm too clean"?
No, that's Lola Young, and I love that
Oh,
song too.
okay.
I love that song.
I have
She's
no
the
idea.
girl that sings Pink Pony Club.
Oh, okay. I've seen that on Instagram, but I don't know the song.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to influence you on your music now.
I clearly still, besides listening to Frozen songs in my car with
I'm gonna
Evelyn,
die.
I still listen to all of the same music I listened to in high school. I have not expanded my anything. Like it just like Alkaline Trios on repeat in my car.
Oh, well, they're a good band. I can get
Yeah,
behind that.
that's funny though. I've
Um,
heard these names, but I don't like I'm very bad with famous people too, though.
okay.
I don't know.
Well, this is because I also have like I been a long time ago that I was not going to be a kids bop mom.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I hate kids bop. I hate it. And there
Yeah.
was a period of time where my son liked kids bop, and it was a very brief moment in time. And he too finally got to the point where he was getting mad at my husband for putting kids bop on versus the
Yeah.
actual radio stations. And yeah, I could not. I can't do
Uh-huh.
kids bop. No, thank you.
No.
No.
Yeah, I remember like as a kid, I had a friend who I think she was only allowed to listen to Kids Bop. And I just remember being like, this is not.
Not your
But some of
thing.
the songs, like, I don't know if you've seen like Instagram videos from like, like the early 2000s, like before I started listening to punk music and stuff, but like they're very inappropriate for kids. Like some of the NSYNC songs or whatever, I'm like, like almost
Yeah,
like,
but
I don't know.
I've had that realization and I was like, oh my God, I was that kid singing this song out loud. Like Genuine has that song Pony. And
Is
I
that
was
the one where he's naked in the music video?
I don't know. I did
That
not get that far into I just knew that I liked that song on the radio and I would sit there and jam it. And then I listened to it as I'm an adult and I'm like, oh
uh-huh.
my God. If
I
my
know.
son or my daughter ever came out of their room singing these lyrics, be like, my
These-
daughter dropped a "that's what she said" comment on me the other day.
Really?
Yes, and
What
I
did you
stared at
say?
her. I don't even remember, but I stared at her and I was like, I was in such a state of shock that she
That's
said
funny.
that's what she said that I just like I froze. And I like she left the room and I ran up to my husband who was working and I was like, the lady just said that's what she said.
How old is she?
She's 10.
Oh, so she doesn't even know what that's what she said, but
No,
it's
I
a
don't
funny
I
like gotcha. Like
it is.
gotcha. Yeah.
Oh, she definitely got me with that one. I had no comeback for her because I was so shocked at
We
what she said.
we watched The
Oh,
Office. I wanted to start rewatching it from like season one, like the pilot.
uh-huh.
Would you watch The Office?
I have seen episodes. I don't do I mean I probably have seen I know. You know what?
Oh
I have
my
gotten
gosh.
no. I can't focus. I can't focus on episodes on
Oh
seasons.
man.
I
Okay.
like we're in the middle of one show that I will watch religiously with my husband is Below Deck.
I've never
Love
heard of
me some
that.
Below Deck. Oh, it's on Bravo. Comes on Monday nights. And they
Oh,
have so many different seasons of it that it's basically it just runs the entire year. So they have like Below Deck Mediterranean, Below Deck Australia, Below Deck I
is
don't
this a
know.
reality show?
Yeah, it's a reality show. It's about
Oh.
it follows a crew of yacht crew
Uh-huh.
members and all of the guests that they have over the course of the summer. So like people will go and rent these mega luxury yachts And I've researched it, and this shit is not cheap. Like they're dropping six figures for like 3 or 4 days on a yacht like this. Yeah, it's
Oh my
fucking
gosh.
expensive. Yeah, they make chingos of money.
Oh,
And so they are the crew, the film crew is filming all of the workers. So like the deck guys that bring in all of the toys. Oh, I need to answer this call.
that's
I
okay.
need
Do
to
you
press
want to?
myself.
It's okay. My groceries just got delivered.
Okay, let's press pause.
Okay.
Okay, I forgot where was I? Oh, so the film crew just follows the deck crew and the interior staff on this
Huh.
luxury mega yacht, which is also funny because there are some people that are real estate agents, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, how the you are wheeling and dealing a lot if you're spending six figures on 4 days
Yeah.
in the Mediterranean, and that's excluding your flights and hotels if you go anywhere else.
They're not wearing tennis shoes to their showings like we
There are
are.
no Converse to those showings.
No. Speaking of shoes, I have decided that I don't want to dress up, but I do want to like kind of revamp my style a little bit.
Mhm.
And I found this girl on Instagram. She's like a fashion influencer, but she always has like really fun, like different colored like sneakers. And she'll wear like jeans
Ooh,
or whatever. And so have you heard of Golas? I think is what they're called.
nope, but I'm writing it down.
Gola. So they're super cute. They kind of remind me, I don't know if old school Adidas would be what they, but anyways, I think they're like suede. And I ordered some yellow ones. So I can't wait to wear
Ooh,
those to my next appointment.
ooh. I have
Um,
some bright yellow blowfish sneakers. Are you
oh, I
familiar
know
with the
what those are.
blowfish brand? Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a second. I almost was like, what is a blow? But I do actually. I have had some of those before too. Yeah,
Yeah, they're
it's
a little
fun.
small on me, but whatever.
Yeah,
They're
it's
cute
okay.
when I wear them.
Yeah.
Okay, what is your working on right now in terms of marketing?
So, we're both doing the 30 CMAs. So we selected a neighborhood, or I don't know if you selected a neighborhood or just individual houses, but I picked a
I,
neighborhood
yeah, okay.
and then
Well,
I made a folder, with a
which
local
if you
guide.
can't see her folders, but her folders were super cute, and she
Yeah.
did a little leprechaun St. Patty's Day theme to them.
I did. Yeah, I decorated them. So I'm doing that. And then I've been sprucing up my Instagram account. I think I told you one of my friends texted me and said, "Did you become an influencer?" I just, I used to have two. It was like a work one and my personal one. I just decided to merge them and it is what it is. But I think it's probably caught everybody off guard. And he's the only person that has asked me about it. He was like, you should make some videos pointing at the like words, like remember when that was like a thing over COVID with
Oh,
the
I
TikTokers?
absolutely did one of those videos.
You did?
Absolutely.
Oh
Yes,
no.
right. I know.
I want to see it. Do you still have it?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it got deleted. It was
I
a TikTok because
I
I was like,
burned
I
it.
can be on TikTok. And I cringe every time I think about it because now I start seeing, do you ever follow the broke agent on Instagram?
Yes. Yes.
Now I see them posting about stuff like that. I'm like, oh my God, it makes
Uh-huh.
me cringe. That was me.
I may have done it during that time, but I was pregnant and I didn't feel good. So, um, I remember people being like, download. I still haven't downloaded TikTok, but they are like, download it. It's so fun. It's so fun. But no.
I know
Um,
my one of my friends here in the office, she's obsessed with TikTok, and I just hang out on Instagram and
yeah.
we'll video swap, but sometimes neither of us can watch the other's videos because we're either not signed into our TikTok or Instagram account, and we're both just like, I'm
Yeah.
sure that was funny, but we're not putting in the
My
the
friends
effort.
will always they'll send me these like TikTok videos and I'm like, I can't see it. I don't have it. I feel like if it's any good, it'll make its way to Instagram. I don't really have anything. It's an app. It's like another thing. And
That, yes,
I'm on my
I'm
phone too
with you
much
on that one.
anyways. So
I'm with you on that one. It's
yeah,
exactly how it is.
yeah,
I felt
exactly.
terrible because this past weekend I was going shopping with a friend of mine, and it's kind of like when we go together, it's kind of like both of our ways of like escaping our households.
Yeah.
And I was trying to get this deal put together, and I spent, I don't know, 80% of the time on my on
My
because your
computer
computer
was gonna
dying.
die. Sorry. I had to get up for a
I
second.
spent
I
most
heard
of the
you.
time with her on my phone. And just like
Yeah.
having these conversations, I felt terrible. Like it is what it
Mhm.
is, but it doesn't happen all the time.
No, I
But
know.
it
I
is
try
part
to
of the,
limit it, but it's hard.
sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Mhm. Yeah. But yeah, so marketing that, and then I have um stuff I send to like my people on my list every month, and working on an email newsletter that's monthly. I started a blog, which is very plain right now because I'm trying to figure out I don't know how to use technology anymore. I feel like, you remember like the MySpace days? I feel like I was like this
Yeah.
HTML coder,
Yeah.
and now I'm like, I don't, I feel like a grandma. Like, I don't know how to use anything. So I've been like kind of messing with it. I wrote like two blog posts, but it's like black and white, like super plain. I don't know I got to figure that out.
No, that's how I am. I get a new app on my phone and I'll open it up and try and use it for like 2 minutes and I'm like, "Ugh, fuck this.
Hmm. And
Can't
it'll
do
be
this
like a
anymore."
button I'm looking for that's literally right in front of me, and I won't see it sometimes. So,
Yeah, I'm
but
with you.
yeah, what are you
I
doing
had
for marketing?
I well, I'm trying to finish up my 30 CMAs.
Yeah.
I do a monthly mailer. I'm still doing those monthly mailers.
Yay.
They're still cranking them. I'm still cranking them out.
Good.
Um, and then yeah, what else am I doing? I'm still trying to get used to the idea of using my Instagram. This is the hard part. I
I know.
know that Instagram and Facebook are very integral parts of the business in terms of
Hmm.
marketing and all of that stuff. It is so hard for me to put myself out there that I like the secret of Amie way. Like, like when clients find me and it's outside of Facebook or Instagram and it's like a referral, or I had a client call me the other day last week actually because they found me on YouTube and I love those. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
can I just keep getting those things?
I want to know
Do I
more
have to put
about your
myself out there?
YouTube. Like, do you have a lot of videos on there? That's one thing I want to do when I get to it, I guess. But um, because I know you had some before when we first started talking. I remember you sent me your
Yeah.
video.
I mean, I don't have a ton of videos. Like there are some agents in the area that do video after video after video, but the
Yeah.
hard part with them is like editing. I am terrible at editing. I have
Yeah.
one video that has been in my editor for 2 months now,
Hmm.
and maybe that's what my goal should be, is to try and get that up before the month ends.
Do you
Um,
have the YouTube editing app? My friend told me that I met with today. She told me about it. I'll
YouTube
have to send.
Studio.
Yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
just found out about
I have that one, but I end up using CapCut because it's just easier
it. Okay.
to use. So I edit everything on CapCut. It's got a cloud, so I can use it on the cloud, or I don't have
Mhm.
to have my computer on the hard drive versus I can edit on my phone too if I'm
Yeah.
away. But it just gets so tedious. And I really should just send it out to Fiverr and find somebody on Fiverr that will edit it for me.
Hmm.
But it's just
Yeah.
such a process. I've recorded quite a few videos. I just need to get them edited and then I can upload
Okay.
them and I'll be
Yeah.
fine with it. But that's that's what I'm doing. I've got a few shorts I did. I think I said last time I did this series called Be a Better Buyer.
Yeah.
on it. Was that last time? I can't remember, but I
Maybe you
started a
just told
mini
me about
series.
it.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
maybe. But I started a mini series and I told myself I am gonna do it's a mini series and it's only like 4 episodes, but it's 4 key components to what I would say make yourself a better buyer in the real
Mm-hmm.
estate industry. And let me see if I can pull up what they are. Um, and you can tell me your thoughts on them too, if you
Okay.
agree or disagree.
Ooh, fun.
So the first video that I made called Be a Better Buyer was about um first one, third party involvements in your transactions. And I'm excluding your lender and your the agent and your inspector, title and escrow. I'm excluding those. I'm talking about having some, like, everybody has a friend or a cousin or an aunt or an uncle or somebody that they know that has either worked in the industry or bought and sold a house at some point in their life. And then when you tell them that you're buying or selling, they have to put their 2 cents in too. And so I, like, the first transaction I ever had as a real estate agent went completely sideways 2 weeks prior to before to closing because my client's mom decided to chime in and tell her that the transaction was not happening correctly. And I the day before we closed, they were going to cancel the whole thing. And I was just like, I should probably just let me just tell the story anyway, how it happened.
Did she
Because
have her
it's
license before or something? Because I've heard that a
no,
thousand times. Like I used to have my real estate license, and then come to find out, if they end up telling you they like did like 2 transactions or ever or whatever, you know.
no, that's the thing. She wasn't a licensed realtor. She's never been a realtor. She bought a house like 5 or 10 years prior to her daughter buying a house. And
Uh,
so this is the story.
one-off situation
I
doesn't work. I said a
what?
one-off situation is not applicable.
No. So this was a new construction house. My very first transaction was every realtor's dream. And I'm I've been licensed for like 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working an open house at a new construction community. And I'm just doing my own thing, walking around, trying to videotape, doing all those
Yeah.
little like things to promote myself online.
Yeah.
And this girl walks in with it wasn't her dad, but I was a strong influence, father figure for her. And we're talking about the house. We just hit it off really well. And she literally goes, I would love to make an offer on this house. And I'm standing there like, oh shit.
Oh, me?
What do I do?
Uh-huh.
And so I asked her, I'm like, well, first of all, are you working with somebody? Because if you're already working with an agent, then I can't help you. I don't want to step on their toes, blah, blah. And she's like,
How
well,
nice of you to say that.
I don't like stepping on their toes.
I don't either, but
Um,
it's not common
I,
courtesy we experience.
oh man, here, I mean, it's depends on the market, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I am like, oh, okay, well, do you want to come to my broker's office and we can work on that? And mind you, I had no idea that I had no idea what I was doing, basically. Um, I end up going to my broker's office. We're drafting an offer, same day, same buyer, pre-approved and everything. And it's a new construction home. And what a lot of people don't realize, I don't know how it is in California. Are you there? I can't hear you.
I'm there. I just muted myself so that I didn't
Oh,
cough.
oh, okay.
Sorry.
It got super quiet and I was like, oh my God, oh
Sorry. No,
my
go ahead.
God.
I'm listening. It was gonna cough, so I muted
Oh,
it.
got you. So I we write this offer up, and it's a new construction home. A new construction home in Oregon. I don't know if it is the same with you, but the certificate of occupancy doesn't get issued until like you're within a couple days of closing on new construction. And we had this conversation with her. Her mom didn't know anything about that. So her mom, 2 weeks prior to closing, steps, mind you, it had been smooth this whole time. And her mom, 2 weeks prior to closing, starts talking to her daughter about how something's wrong. You haven't had an inspection yet. This isn't right. Like just going off on how something that I am doing is not right and that I'm doing it wrong. And every house
Mhm.
gets an inspection and blah, blah, blah. And I'm over there like, well, technically we can't get the house inspected because it doesn't have a certificate of occupancy, which means it's not in a livable state yet. So an
Mhm.
inspector can't go in and inspect it yet. We have to wait until that certificate of occupancy is issued. And then when that happens, her 10-day inspection window starts.
Mhm.
And her mom is like, well, why on earth would she close on a home that she hasn't got inspected and blah blah blah. And I was like, well, it's new construction, so she's gonna have a 1 year home warranty. She's gonna have a warranty with everything, and she's still gonna have the opportunity to get it inspected and all of the repairs fixed. It's just we might end up closing prior to the time frame ending.
Mhm.
And her mom just loses her shit on me. At one point, I call my client to go over the inspection date and time, and her mom answers the phone and tries to be her. And I'm like talking to her, and I'm like, this does not sound like my client. And I asked, I was like, is this so and so? And then her mom hands off the phone, and then she picks up the phone, and I was like, oh, I don't understand what happened. And I was
Yeah.
so new. I was such a rookie. I was so new that I didn't really know how to confront it. And the day before closing, she and her mom start asking for termination papers. And I'm like, what did I do? I'm
Yeah.
literally just
Nothing.
following your contract, but your mom is not reading the contract at all. If she would read the contract, she would see we're following exactly to the T.
Yeah.
And I
Everyone
mean,
always has an opinion with this stuff, I swear.
they do. And
Yeah.
it always comes down to them either A, not actually reading the contract or the understanding the timelines, or just having a really good persuasive conversation with the client. And it just
Yeah.
gets so frustrating because I can't urge it enough. Like buyers and sellers, real estate agents have different processes. Each agent has a different process. All of
Yeah.
the contracts that they follow are usually the same because they're contracts generated by state
Yeah.
agencies, but their processes might be different. You and I probably have two totally different
Yeah.
processes in terms of how we organize our transactions. And I think that is what also throws people for a loop sometimes, is that their processes are not the same as their or previous experience. So they automatically think that something is wrong or something's not right or something's
Mhm.
up.
And no transaction is the same, even if it's like an identical contract. You could get to the repairs, portion of it or the appraisal, and depending on like what adventure you choose, what options are good for you, it's totally different. And then you're dealing with different personalities and things. And so there's not one transaction that's really ever the same. It depends on what the client wants to do. I've even found that clients will, whatever their decision that they make is, they'll make it and then they do get influenced by that outside person who, you know, maybe they do have a good point or whatever, but and then sometimes they will kind of backtrack. But it is hard when you have like, someone coming to like the home inspection, for instance, and is like pointing out very minor stuff when they're like not also a licensed contractor, things that um I'm like unfazed by any home inspection report at this point. Like they're never going to be perfect, but
Yeah.
yeah.
I always tell my clients like the whole goal of a home inspection is to just tear the house apart so that they can see what your issues are going in.
Yeah,
Like
it's just
I've
information.
never, yeah, even on new construction homes, I've never had a clean home inspection, which means when I
Yeah,
say clean, I mean all green lights for everything. I've never had a home
made
inspection
by
myself.
people.
Yes,
There's no
yes.
robots to my knowledge yet making houses. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. And it's
So,
like there's no like I always tell clients like it's whatever like your comfort level is. Like there's, for some people if, the water heater needs to be replaced and I don't know, there's some electrical work to be done, that could be a deal breaker to some people. Other people, it's not a big deal. And I think that both are right. It just depends on it's to inform you so that you can make the decision. So it's very individual.
yes, it's
Yeah.
different for each person. They're
Yeah.
all going to worry about different things. I mean, even I have had inspection reports come back and I'm looking at a high ticket item, and I'm like, ooh, that one, we're probably going to have to negotiate for that one. And my
Yeah.
clients see it and they're like, no, I'm fine with that. That doesn't
Yeah.
scare me. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
oh, sweet, awesome. Nope, don't have to worry about that one.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always different. And yeah, it's just our point is to just advocate for them. But it's hard when that other person gets in their ear, especially when it's like out of nowhere. And sometimes if the client's not telling you what's going on, you're like, wait, we were on the same page yesterday. What happened?
What happened? Yeah.
At least like let me know. Cause then you're like, did I miss something? But
Yeah.
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 Um, okay, well, what else?
What else is on my be a better buyer thing? What did I say? I have to rewatch my videos. Um, so I said influence, outside influence. And then this one is I should have written these down
That's
before we did
okay.
it.
We're kind of winging it.
We kind of
Or
are.
we can always do the next one next recording
Oh
and
yeah.
kind of, whatever. But
Piggyback after that. Yeah, that'll work.
yeah. But all right. Well, I think we've been doing this for an hour.
Have we really? Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, because I think it's been an hour. So I guess we could post up.
Sign all.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in working with me, you can find me on Instagram at Hi Kim Innocente. I'll put that in the show notes. And reach out to me if you're looking to buy in northern LA County, primarily Santa Clarita or the Antelope Valley.
Yeah. And if you are looking in the Central Oregon area, you can find me on Facebook at Amy Bullock Real Estate or on YouTube at Moving to Redmond, Oregon. You can also type in amybullock.com, and that will take me to my landing page. So I don't have an Instagram. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe it's okay. It took me 9 years to combine them.
Oh
So
God.
I'll break
Maybe
you
a
down
little.
little by little. It has been nice. Once I got over the awkwardness, it's just easier to manage. So
Okay.
yeah. All right. Well, see you in
Thank
2 weeks.
you for listening and thank you for tuning in. And Kim, as always, I love our little catch-up conversation. So
Yeah, it's fun.
love it.
We'll have a maybe we'll think of a theme for the next one or something. We'll figure it out. But it was a
We
good
will.
time.
I agree.
All right.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Bye.